Hello, racing fans. Welcome back to the channel for another episode in the series. We're back with a weekend preview. We've got some really good action coming from Newbury, Newcastle, and Fairyhouse on Sunday too. I think we've got nine races to cover. Two, four, six, eight. Yeah, we've got nine races to get through for this weekend preview. Some really good action. If you haven't seen so already, we have done our review show for the racing just gone, and we have done episode two in our anti-post series as well. And thanks everyone that's tuned in. Really appreciate you all. If you can click like and subscribe, it helps us out a little bit more. Completely free to do. And like we said repeatedly at the moment, the views are going up, subscribers are going up. We are very grateful to you all. Before we go on to the racing, though, we will check in with the lads. Jamie, how you doing? You okay?
Good, Joe. Yeah, and yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. You're repping. What jacket you got on there? Is that like the Kerry team or something?
No, it's my local team.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Similar thing. Similar thing. Liam, how's things?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Weather's getting me down a bit, the change of seasons, but yeah, I'm certainly perked up having a look at these race cards for this weekend. I'm heading up to Newcastle, so I'm
Hmm.
excited for that, mate. And the Coral Gold Cup, Hennessy, whatever you want to call it, is always a cracking weekend, isn't it? So yeah, looking forward to this, mate.
I think it's all of the Django Bay love that you had for the last few weeks. It's just tired you out a little bit because you
Quite
needed it.
possibly, yeah, quite possibly.
Right then, gents, we're going to crack on. We've got two races on Friday coming from Newbury. First of all, we have the John Frankham Novices Chase, the Grade 2 over 2 mile, 4 furlongs. Of course, we've got Wendigo there as the 15 to 8 favourite, Regent Stroll at 9 to 4, Kingston Pride at 11 to 2, no questions asked at 6 to 1, and then 12 to 1 for Crest of Fortune, and then 22 to 1 for King of Kingsfield. Someone telling us he's not trying this weekend. Interesting race this one, Jamie. How do you see it panning out?
uh, Wendigo, wrong trip. I think he'll be found out in this trip.
Mm.
I think he leads further than this. I don't know why they haven't gone 3 miles with him. He's off a mark of 143. You know what I think of him. Keep under the 145 National and Chase. Regent Stroll first time out. I don't really like backing horses first time out when the grade of chases. That's just my bit of a rule I have. I know he has massive form behind Honesty Policy. Obviously ran in the shadow with the New Lion and Wendigo finished above him that day. But the one I like is the form is franked. I know the form from Wendigo is franked by Wade out of Cheltenham, but Kingston Pride 11 to 2 is overpriced for me. Jax Jr. absolutely romped home at Kempton during the week, on Monday, sorry. I like the way he did it at Perth. This is his trip. Sean Bowen booked. I think 11 to 2 he's overpriced here, and he'd be my selection here.
Yeah, okay, interesting. Kingston Pride for Jamie, Ollie Murphy, and Sean Bowen. Liam, is there a fancy for you in the race?
I know that Jamie Snowden made no secret of the fact that he thought that Wendigo is nowhere near as much of as a boat as everybody seems to be pigeonholing him, and I think that that's probably why he's persevering over this trip. I think he'll definitely come forward for his run at Worcester. Obviously, first time up on seasonal reappearance. That form's been franked anyhow, hasn't it, Joe? With Wade out,
Mm.
um, it was 95% jockey, 5% horse, I think, wasn't it, that day at Cheltenham? But still, it's been franked all the same. I'd be the same with Jamie with Regent Stroll. I think we've only seen a couple of Nichols come out first time and be significantly impressive. Obviously, no drama this end being the main one. I was quite taken with Kingston Pride and how he travelled through the race at Perth. I know that Ollie Murphy was really keen to get hold of him. They paid a pretty penny to get him over from Nicky's. I think it was around about 250 grand. And he was really looking forward to sending him chasing. I know that race fell apart a little bit, but he showed a really good turn of foot to put that race to bed at Perth. I would be willing to take a chance on Kingston Pride around about 11 to 2 against the top two in the field, just because I don't think he'll be the best horse come the end of the season, Joe. I think your lad actually will be from the three. But I just think at this trip on good to soft ground, he'd be the one that I'd probably be siding with. So Kingston Pride would be a bet for me in this at 11 to 2 win only.
Two for Kingston Pride. Then for the lads, yeah, very fair points made there. Like I said, I've made it no secret. Wendigo definitely better over 3 miles. I know Jamie, his trainer, is telling us that he's quicker than what we think. I've got to be honest, I still disagree. We were actually outpaced in the Challow until sort of staying on late. Got done in the last race by Wade Out, whether it was the ride, whether tactics, whatever it was. But I don't think he is that quick myself. I certainly think Kingston Pride would be faster. I actually really like No Questions Asked as well. Um, I got like you guys. I got No Question come the end of the season. The best two horses over 3 miles would be Wendigo or Regent Stroll. These have got potential of being graded animals. But over 2 mile four here, and this is just being honest, even though I'm a part owner of Wendigo, I think we're up against it. I actually like No Questions Asked for Ben Paulin. So we're both going down the market a little bit here. So from a betting perspective, I was just really impressed with what he did last time out because he was quite well touted last season. Thought he was going to go quite well in the Martin Pipe and things didn't go well at all. But he'd run really well in his previous runs. He then came out and won at Ascot in really good style, doing all of his best work late. He just looked like a horse that had got plenty of pace. And I'm telling you, like I said, as a Wendigo part owner, even if we're ahead coming the last, if he's a few lengths behind us, I'd be worried that he's going to chase us down. So, like I said, we'll go up to 3 miles at Christmas of Wendigo, and then we'll see what we do after there. But for now, I do think this trip is a little bit short. But of course, I want him just to come out and run a big race. One final thing, sorry, I will be quiet after this. He did come out of his runner-up effort at Worcester behind Wade Out lame. I think if he came out of that fit and well, we'd have probably went to Cheltenham for the same race as Wade Out, but that's instead why we're coming here instead. So
I was
from a betting perspective, we've got two for Kingston Pride and then one for No Questions Asked. But of course, my hope is all with our horse Wendigo.
the discrepancy in prices as well, Joe, based on the actual official ratings, is probably too big. Wendigo
Yeah.
and Regent Stroll, there's only £2, isn't there, between him and
Mhm.
between those and No Questions Asked, and just the £3 between Kingston Pride,
Yeah.
and you're getting significantly greater value for the two that we've given mention to. So yeah, I
Yeah.
won't put anybody off looking past the top of the market in this.
Yeah, it's important from a betting perspective as well, just to take things literally. It's not like Wendigo's rated 160. He's not. We don't know how good we're still on that progression route at the moment. So you've got to go where you see the race, financially, I suppose. Okay, we're going to move on to the 3 o'clock at Newbury. We've got the Coral long distance hurdle, the grade two over 3 miles and half a furlong. Impostoir is actually our 2-1 favourite after winning that Pertemps qualifier really impressively last time out at Aintree. We've then got Strong Leader at 5-2, Take No Chances at 11-2. Hewitt at 13-2, an interesting runner. We have Doddy the Great, Ahoy Senor, and Botox has at 33-1. Liam, Impose 12 was obviously impressive last time out, but he's still got to keep creeping that level up. I suppose they're in a place now where they probably have to roll the dice and, run him as a graded animal and see if he's good enough. But Strong Leader's no mug, is he, at the same time?
Yeah, no, he's certainly not. We know that people will point to Strong Leader and they'll think that he's not exactly a top class staying hurdler. And I think people will be basing that on purely his performances at Cheltenham, and people can
Mm,
get too bogged down with how horses perform at that one particular track. He just doesn't particularly like it there, does he?
no,
Um,
exactly, yeah.
Prefers a flatter track. I think, given the fact that the weight that Strong Leader is going to be having to give £6 to Impose Etoile, I think that's quite significant, especially how well he won the last day. Obviously, I'll be keen to see how Take No Chances goes here. I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say concerned, but it doesn't ring particularly well with me that she's continually being campaigned, and I'm wondering, is there something else in the works for her?
Yeah, okay.
And perhaps she's going to come down the handicap. Then again, it wasn't exactly as if she was a non-trier the last day when she was beaten in the neck by Strong Leader. So I'd love to see her come forward for that and put in another good performance here. But I think given the weight allowance that the favourites getting, it's a bit boring, a bit unoriginal, mate. But I would be siding with the JP Henderson horse at the top of the market. I know 2-1's not a massive price, and it's probably one I won't even back. I'll just watch. But yeah, Impose Etoile for me.
Cool. Jamie, any difference of opinion?
No, I think this is quite obvious. I know last year when a handicap over the course and sorry, not course, the 2.5 miles off 134. He's gone up nearly £20 in the handicap. Danced a lot of dances last year with second at Coral Cup to Jimmy the Soy, second at Punchestown to Hey Sunshine of Willie Mullins. I think he's just improved from the 3 miles. Strong Leader the last day. Look, strong leader is strong leader. You know what you're getting. He's lazy. He likes flat tracks. He won this last year, but he has to keep waiting up to Impose Etoile. No, I think it's just quite simple and boring. I think Impose Etoile win.
Yeah, interesting. All right. Well, I'm going to take you on, boys. I think Strong Leader will take the beating. I know he's got that £6, he's got to give away £6, but Ollie Murphy it was quite interesting to hear Ollie Murphy sort of say when we spoke to him earlier in the season, he said, look, we are going to keep him to flat tracks. He doesn't like Cheltenham, so he's going to have alternative targets. I think he'll actually come on plenty for that win last time out at Weatherby. And the fact that Ollie Murphy knows he's not really a Cheltenham horse, I think he'll be much more prepared for this than we think. Because, like we said, he's a horse that looks to be in and out. He's not. He just needs a very particular set of sort of conditions and tracks. So I actually think he's still going to be really hard to beat here, and I could see him running better than what he did last time out at Weatherby as well. Because yeah, look, Impose Etoile, he's still got to come up. He's still got to come up. I just think Strong Leader will be ready to go here and will improve on his last run, and that'll make him hard to beat, in my opinion. Okay, moving on to Saturday. We start off again. We've got two races at Newbury. We're going to take a look at the 2:15, the 2 mile, half a furlong, Jerry Fielding. Got quite a strong fancy here, lads. I don't know if you want me just to fire away with mine first on that occasion. Um, I really like the look of a horse here called Vianney for Harry Deerham at 5-1. The marker 124 for me makes him look absolutely thrown in. You've got to remember last season with Harry Deerham towards the back end of the year, he had no gallops. It's been really well documented that all of his horses were far behind, but Vianney was absolutely brilliant. So it didn't really matter to him. He was only 6 lengths behind Lulamba when they met at Ascot, and then he bolted up next time at Ludlow. It was only by a couple of lengths, but he won really easily. Some of the horses in here, like Live Conti off 143, Give It To Me OJ off 143, they are the best horses in the race, but they are fully inclined to be at the head of the weights. They've actually got to give nearly sort of £20 to Vianney, and I just don't see that happening. The Harry Deerham in really good form at the moment, and I've been speaking to a couple of friends of mine earlier in the season, and they told me to put Vianney in the tracker for the Jerry Fielding. So I'd assume this is fully going to be the plan. I think he'll be fully geared up to win it. And off a marker 124, I think he has to have a huge chance here. I do like Indivar Blue off a similar mark, but he's had a lot of injuries, which doesn't worry me for this because I think he'll be ready to go. But I just really like the look of Vianney. I think this is going to be a 140s horse easy. So I think he's thrown in at 5-1. And feel free to back him each way as a bit of a bet to nothing. I can't see him out of the three. Jamie, we'll come to you.
Yeah, I was going to put up in Divar Blue, but I know he's had wind surge and he won back end of fast last year, back end of the season. But there's a horse that I really like, and I think they finally think that this horse is not really a horse for undulating tracks. Obviously, won twice at fast last season, sixth in the Supreme, the last day, and it's 16-1. I thought he was given a suspect ride the last day at Chepstow, if I'm not being smart, by Cobden, and the horse is Tutti Quanti. I think he's well overpriced here at 16-1. Off a mark of 130. We had Paul Nichols on, he said he needs further. I'm not buying that either. I think he needs 2 miles. Flat track, a bit of soft ground, and he said he was taking off his feet the last day at Chepstow, but I think it's because it was better ground. So I think he's well overpriced here, and I'd take him each way at 16-1, 220. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. It looks a right lurker in the market, doesn't he? Just sort of hanging down there. Be interesting to see if there's money for him as well, I suppose, too, James. Liam, who do you fancy in the Jerry Fielding?
Yeah, he's the same one that caught my eye, the one that Jamie had mentioned. I suppose also, not to teach people how to suck eggs, Joe, but perhaps a lesson that can be learned for some that cling on to their horses to follow or their tracker horses for the season. I know that obviously you've mentioned Indivar Blue, but then when you come and actually analyse the race, it doesn't mean you have to
Yeah.
blindly stick with that selection. So I think that's a bit of a lesson that even I can learn perhaps on occasions, but yeah, so
No,
for
fair.
people to bear in mind. But yeah, Tutti Quanti as well. And I've got a fancy later on in the weekend, and I'm hoping that the form is franked by him for that other selection. Is who I mentioned for the Greatwood, funnily enough. But yeah, I just echo everything that Jamie said. There's no point in me elaborating anymore. I think that the weight that he's getting from the top at the from the top two that we mentioned, Give It To Me OJ and Live Conti, I think he's definitely overpriced at 16s.
Yeah, interesting. Two for Tutti Quanti and one for Vianney. Okay, we move on to Newbury. We have the Coral Gold Cup next, former known as the Hennessy, of course. which is the 255 at Newbury, 3 mile, 2 furlongs. Really looking forward to this race, actually. Town is obviously interested in there at 5 to 1 off an official rating now of 142 after winning the Ultima off 127. We've got Resplendent Grey, the winner of the Bet365 Gold Cup at Sandown, and then of course won at Carlisle last time, beating handstands in the, I can't even remember the name of the race, at 13 to 2. The Changing Man at 9 to 1, Highland at 11 to 1, Katati Dory at 11 to 1, then the first of the Mullins runners, Spanish Harlem, out there at 14 to 1. Anyone have a strong fancy in here to kick us off with?
About 6 of them.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, all right, I got you. I'm with you. I'm with
Run
you.
this race 10 times, you'll have 10 different winners.
But what do you think of the lads at the front of the market first, then, gents? Town could just jump them into oblivion, but like big £15 rise is hefty for your first start back.
Go on, Jay. I'll let you go first.
Percival, no, I'm not.
Don't fall off the cliff.
Not a hope. Not a hope. Not a hope. I like 2 here and 1, and to be honest, they're off the same mark. Yeah, 153. Like, you have to respect Resplendent Grey. Yeah, I think if he wins this, he's into the Gold Cup picture. I think if he wins this, they'll leave him alone and bring him back for the Cotswold Chase and have a gold grade on it. That's just me. He was very good the last day over a trip that was a mile short of what he won the Bet365 Gold Cup. Beating handstands. Look, handstands beating 14 lengths by grades awning in the Betfair Chase, but he ran well, but he needs softer ground. That's just me. But I think Resplendent Grey has a chance. And the only other horse I have a chance, but the form was let down the last day by Rocky's Diamond, is Blizzard of Oz. I really like this horse. I really do. I think he needs 3 miles. And yeah, he's dead one. Blizzard of Oz. I think he loved the fast pace. But I don't really have massive fancy, Joe. Really fancy. It's just the 2 of them against the field for me.
It's interesting, like you said about Blizzard of Oz, James, isn't it? It's like one of these horses that was like a 2 miler and a 2.5 miler, but as he's got older, he does look like the 3 miles might suit, wouldn't he? I suppose. Liam?
Yeah, as a kind of jokes, but it was only half joking, Joe. I like a few in this field. The Resplendent Grey, he's just too short in a field like this for me to be parting money with. But I think if he does win, as Jamie's alluded to, he could well throw his name into a hat as one that could be on the radar for a Gold Cup. I wasn't sure if Panic Attack had finished winning. Excuse me. Choking. If Panic Attack had finished winning, he won so well the last day when tipped by yourself at Cheltenham. Tristan Durrell now obviously takes off a few of those pounds that he's gone up in the handicap with his £3 claim. The ones that I'd land on potentially play against the field, if it were to come up soft, if there's a lot of rain around at Newbury, and apologies, I haven't looked at the forecast, funnily enough, but if there is, Intense Raffles with Ben Bromley taking the £5 off. He's got some really good form, obviously being beaten by a short distance in the Bobby Joe by Nick Rocket, who obviously went on to win the National. He'd be one on my radar if it were to get proper soft, but I've been really keen on seeing Lowry's Bar over a longer trip. Now, it's probably a big ask for him to turn up in here first time up after a layoff as well. He got injured, I think, at Windsor the back end of last season or the mid part of last season, then hasn't been seen since. But if he comes back fit and firing, I think Lowry's Bar could potentially be overpriced at around about 25s, 28 to 1. So he'd be the first that I'd settle down on, mate. And yeah, I'd then just be looking really at ground conditions. If, as I say, if it does come up soft or any softer than soft, then Intense Raffles will be on my radar. And if not, Gorgeous Tom, who is becoming a bit of a cliff horse, one that I've always liked, but has got some very good form from last season. But just hasn't shown it. But I think with Henry sending him over here and off the mark that he is off, I think he could definitely outrun his odds. So you're getting 2 selections there at 20s plus. So yeah, the 2 that I would settle on, just for clarity, would be Gorgeous Tom and Lowry's Bar, and keep an eye on the weather forecast for Intense Raffles.
Lovely, nice one, Liam. Any love for the Changing Man, lads, at all? Been quite hard to win with him, but he won the Reynolds Town eventually, didn't he? And
I'll back him to finish second. What odds can I get for him to finish second?
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
He's Hitman 2.0, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, sorry, one sec. I've just lost where we are there on the thing. Well, look, I'm struggling in the race, to be honest with you, lads. I don't know what to make of Town. I'd like to see Resplendent Grey go on to win it, perhaps. but it would be a no bet for me at the moment. Sorry, my computer's just being slow. We're going to go off to Newcastle. No, it's slow. Okay, well, it's the fighting fifth anyway, which is the 2 o'clock. 2 mile, 1 furlongs. And we've got Constitution Hill at 6-4, the New Lion at 13-8, Amsterdam at 100-30, Golden Ace 25-1, and the Mere Lion at 100-1. Liam, go for it. Where do you how do you see the race? It's going to be one of the highlights of the weekend. This, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Really looking forward to it. Would love to see Constitution Hill bounce back to his best. I think we all would. However, I just can't see that being. I think his career to date has come so easy to him, mate, that he's never really had much of a race, to be perfectly honest, in his life. He's just won with complete and utter ease. Then, obviously, I think he started to get a little bit complacent, especially at his obstacles. He's taken that fall then at Cheltenham. He was beat before he fell anyway at Aintree. And then I think he's lined up at Punchestown. He's seen a race course rather than kind of schooling at home or for a day out at the Gallops when they go to Newbury. And I think he's lined up at Punchestown and he's just thought, not this again. The last 2 times I've done this, it really hurt. And I just think he's quit on the game a little bit, and because it's suddenly become quite painful. It's gone from the easiest job in the world to one of the most difficult for him. I I would like to see him come back, but I couldn't part with any money on him. So it's either New Lion or Amsterdam, and I'm firmly in the latter's camp, Amsterdam. I don't think the New Lion is an out-and-out two-miler. I know Jamie's going to disagree with me as soon as I stop waffling on, but I don't think he is. I think especially this track at Newcastle will be too sharp for him. And I think Amsterdam is the most likely winner at this stage before we've seen any of the big stars running this 2 mile division. He is the most likely winner, and especially the best bet for the champion hurdle. It's just his fragility that puts me off backing him. But yeah, I think Amsterdam wins. I think he's a decent price now and probably will be even on the day. But yeah, I think Mullins comes over and actually wins this year, unlike last.
Yeah, I suppose you have to take a bit of confidence the fact that they're willing to bring a fragile horse over for the run as well. You know, you'd have to
Yeah,
sort of take
definitely.
that as a positive, I suppose, wouldn't you, to some degree. I know they
No,
probably,
100%.
I know the reason Lossie's probably gone to the Morgiana is because they didn't want to get beat by Constitution Hill and have a repeat of last year, potentially. So, like, but, they're putting a lot of trust in a horse that hasn't really proven anything yet, to chuck him up against these horses. Jamie on ratings, Amsterdam 157, the New Lion 159, and then Con Hill at 170. Yeah, you're a big New Lion fan, we know. Yeah, talk to me.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, that's the only worry is the sharp track. But, like, Amsterdam 157, like, for beating Caliconti and Beacon Edge, give me a break. Like, seriously, like, give me a break. Caliconti's 140s hurdler. Beacon Edge is the 3 miler. I just don't see it, lads. They keep going on about him. Will say they keep mentioning him. No, no, no. I can't have him. He's too fragile for me. Look, they're coming over to have a look. That's just me. Because Lashimo's way better than all of them. That's just me, and that's just me. But for the purpose of this race, Constitution is surely gone at the game. But I think the New Lion will win, yeah, and I think he'll win well, and I think he'll show what a good horse he is on Saturday. I hope he does.
He's
I would he if he loses close up or something like that. I wouldn't give up on him. No.
He's just been backed into favourite as well. The market's just moved. We've got 13-8 the New Lion, 15-8 now Con Hill. So he is on the drift, and 100-30 for Amsterdam. Oh,
Joe, sorry,
yeah.
I was going to ask you, mate, just before we get your opinion on the race. If Amsterdam were to win this and win it impressively, does Lossiemouth then go back to the mares?
Yeah, I think so. I do. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. Absolutely. Yeah, I think this will determine what happens more than likely anyway. Look, I'm not a massive fan of Constitution Hill, but I'm concerned that he just wins first time out. I really am, and I've made a case against him non-stop. Now, from a betting perspective, I need Amsterdam to win for my anti-post bet for the Cheltenham Festival, but that sort of I've dropped a little bit of confidence after seeing Salvatore Mundi get beat on Chase debut. I know they've got nothing to do with each other. It's just suddenly it's given me a small worry because I wouldn't want to have two bets sort of go down the drain after this weekend anyway. I suppose with Con Hill, they're going to probably send him off in front. You'd imagine, wouldn't you? Give him nothing to look at, bar his hurdles. to see if
I
he
think
can
that'd be
sort
the
of.
sensible thing to do, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
You just want him to give the best sight as possible at every single obstacle, don't you? I would have
yeah,
thought.
of course. And I suppose that I feel like Amsterdam will track. I think he'd be happy to track Con Hill, and the new line will just do whatever the Skeltons decide. But
Mm.
I imagine Con will go forward, Amsterdam and the new line will sit behind, and then they'll see if they can pick him off, and that's when they'll find out if they got a champion hurdle horse or not, potentially anyway. Anything else to add for the race, lads, or is that pretty much that?
That's that from me.
Cool. Right, we move on. I'm having a dreadful time of things
Do
here.
you want the prices, Joe?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah, 3:15 the rehearsal chase at Newcastle, and another one of Skelton's been well supported into favourite. Deafening Silence 5-2, Cruise Control for Tom Lacey 7-2, Confusion 5-1, Jasmine de Grugy sevens, and Doc picked me 8-1, 12-1 bar.
Cool. Perfect. I've actually got another pretty strong fancy here, actually. Last weekend I backed Confusion, 7-1. He was backed into about 15-8 or something like that, and was running a really good, smooth race, traveling while sort of out in front. The in-play market, not that you should ever look at that, but that was sort of confident as well. He was sort of into even money, and then he unseated the rider, which is really frustrating. So he's going to come back here this weekend with a really good chance. But in this race, I think I'd take him on with one other, and that's Jasmine de Grugy for JP McManus and Anti Honeyball. This is a really progressive horse over the last 2 seasons. Off a marker 126, there's still going to be plenty more to come. And I don't think that this horse is finished improving just yet, just because he was beat last time out. I don't think is any sort of issue really. He was up to sort of 3 miles at Punchestown. I'd take that as a pretty decent run. The fact that he went over there and ran so well. Like I said, you've got Cruise Control, Deafening Silence, all in the 140s, 130s, but Jasmine de Grugy at 126 is definitely far from his ceiling at this point in time. Anyway, the 7-1 each way about him, I think, is an absolute steal because he wouldn't be running unless he was ready to go. I think he's a really good bet for the each way backers this weekend. Jasmine de Grugy at 7-1 for me. Liam, have you got anything in this race yourself?
I struggled a lot with this, mate. I did
Yeah.
back hold that taut last time out for Venetia, but I think we mentioned the other week on a particular show that we did about her form in November and just how poor, sadly, it's
Yeah.
been. I just don't think I could be parting with any money. She's had one winner from her last 14, and I think literally one winner in the whole calendar month of November, or perhaps two. Jello won on the first, but yeah. So I wouldn't be going near him. So yeah, in short, mate, I struggled with this. Cruise Control is a horse I really like, but perhaps is getting towards reaching his ceiling. But obviously
Hmm.
does have that course and distance success under his belt as well, which is appealing to me. But yeah, nothing that I could settle on or advise as a bet.
Okay, no worries, mate. Jamie?
I like the one you said, Joe, the first one. I actually backed him as well
Confusion.
the weekend. I was really disappointed.
Mm.
I think they're coming back here for make up for last week. 5-1 to find out if you're an each way backer, and that up to you. But I'm going to back it to win. I think he would have won Saturday at Haydock. I know it was a bit far out, but yeah, I really like him for this. I think Confusion will win. Yeah, I'll take him for this race. Yeah.
It'll be painful if he wins. I'm just trying to stick to my gut because my gut's telling me Jasmine de Grugy will just get there. But if Confusion wins, it'll be a painful one. Okay, cool. Right, we move on to Sunday at Fairyhouse. We've got 3 graded races. We're going to start off with the Royal Bond Novice Hurdle over 2 miles, which is the 135, a race previously won by the great Marine Nationale. But this year we have Love Me Tender for JP and Willie Mullins at 11 to 10. We have each to their own for Barry Connell at 6 to 1, being backed in at the moment from 8. Cocktail Brute at 6 to 1. Game Ball, one of my horses to follow. He's done really nicely. Big step up in class for him. Port Authority at 7 to 1. The Flying King at 10 to 1, who I don't think will be running here. And then any price you like for the remainder. Jamie, I already know who you mentioned that you liked for this race in the week. Are you still sticking with that at the moment? Yep.
Oh, I think this horse is top quality. I really do. Look, the price reflecting Joe that he might not come at 7 to 1. I think he should be second favourite. I couldn't have the favourite now. Not a hope in hell. I know the price wise was on about him the last day, and people have kind of clicked onto him. This horse has never run on soft ground. All these forms on good ground, and he's 11 to 10, and it's 6 to 1 to field. I don't get it. Each
They
to their
come
own, but
thick and
very good
fast,
luck.
these hurdles as well here, don't they?
Yeah,
At
yeah, and
Fairyhouse.
each to their own. Was good at Galway. Cocktail Brood obviously beat a horse that I like and called Cannon. But the game ball was good the last time beating Victoria PL. But no, point of authority. The way he won it against Moore at Nace, he just cruised into it. And they went a good gallop that day for a maiden hurdle. 7-1, he's overpriced, and I think if he runs, I'm going to be all over him. I think he's a really good horse. Point of authority for me, you know?
Could be redemption for them as well. Obviously, after Romeo Coolio getting beaten it sort of last year, they know sort of what they need to win the race this time as well. It's no secret, obviously, I'm big fans of the KTDA boys, so whichever of theirs turns out, I'd love to see them go well. Liam, who do you fancy in the Royal Bond?
I fancy watching The Flying King and waiting for a Martin Pipe
Oh, okay.
market to open is what I fancy.
Okay, okay.
I think this Love Me Tender could actually be quite a good horse. And I know it's infrequent that we see those come out so early in the summer, let's be honest, and then go on to win at Cheltenham festivals. But we have seen those that have been competitive, the likes of Mystical Power, haven't we, in the past? Bob Ollinger was out in the summer before then going on to win the Ballymore. And I think Love Me Tender could actually be a really smart one. I can completely understand Jamie's point and yours, Joe, with regards to the hurdles and the ground conditions. And obviously stepping up in class in this won't be a bet. It'll probably just be one that I watch. Obviously, I like there to be a little bit more substance in terms of form for me to analyse, really, mate, before getting stuck into one. So yeah, this will be a watching brief for me, but looking forward to it.
Yeah, fair points made, mate. Absolutely fine. But yeah, I'm against Love Me Tender. The price is certainly part of it. I actually think he's going to be better when he goes out on trip. He doesn't strike me as a supreme horse, but I might be wrong, and they're probably going to send him out in front as sort of play catch me if you can. But I think that's actually going to set up well for the likes of Game Ball, Port Authority. But the one I'm going to side with, slightly biased, I know, is going to be each to their own for Barry Connell. 6-1. Each way I do think is a good price. He's a proper sort of speed horse. The ground should be fine. Barry said he couldn't be happier with him at the moment. Obviously, I'm sure that's the same for most horses in the race, but it just gives you that added bit of confidence. And I'd love to see him sort of emulate what Marine's done. So I like each to their own, and I want to see Port Authority run a big race too. We've got some really good racing there at Fairyhouse. Okay, we're going to move on to the 205, which is the Royal Drinmore Novices Chase, 2 mile, 4.5 furlongs. Now, this is one I really can't wait for. No prices showing for me at the moment. Not sure if it's the same for you, gents, but we will have Romeo Coolio coming here as favourite. Yes, we do. 4-6. Gold Dancer at 5-1. Slade Steele, the former Supreme winner, at 6-1. Old Man Dingle, very, very likable horse for Owen Griffin at 7-1. Then a double figure pack for the remainder. We'll go the other way this time. Liam, anything standing out to you in the Drinmore?
No, I suppose it's just something to mention, just with regards to obviously the novice rules and things over in Ireland. It's crazy when you think that Captain Cody's in here after winning a Scottish national,
Yeah, yeah.
and Pied Piper, who seems like he's about 14 years of age. Obviously, still
Mad,
only
he's only 7. That's crazy, isn't it?
it is, isn't
Crazy.
it? Yeah. But so yeah, you have got some horses in here with a lot of experience, haven't you? Really, especially when you look at Captain Cody and what he's obviously achieved. I think it's between the top two. I hope that Romeo Coolio proves to be the horse that he is. If he wins this really impressively, again, I just feel that potentially he might be stuck in a little bit of no man's land moving forward, because what do you then do? Do you try and campaign him for a handicap or to win off a high weight in the, or do you save him? Do you skip Cheltenham and you go towards other graded options, whether that be an Ireland or at Aintree? I can't really see the ownership wanting to do that. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he wins and in what fashion. Whether he that's obviously providing he does go and win.
Of course, yeah.
Whether it looks as if he needs every yard and he's kind of being stretched in terms of stamina, or whether it's stamina that gets him up should he go and win, and perhaps then he'll be a Brown advisory horse. But yeah, Romeo Coolio, I think he definitely jumped the last day like he needs further. Hung in the air at a few of his obstacles, and I think that Romeo Coolio will probably be better than all of these and will appreciate the step up. So yeah, won't be a bet. It's another one I'll be watching. Apologies to viewers, a bit boring, but yeah, Romeo Coolio I think will take all the beating.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I certainly agree. I really want him to get the job done here. Jamie?
Yeah, just move on. He'll win. The only danger is Slade Steele. I don't like Gold Dancer. He needs soft. He needs good ground. Slade Steele will be the only danger, I think. But not Romeo Coolio should win, shouldn't he?
Yeah, it'd be nice to see him win this as well. Like you don't like seeing horses flop, for example, but Salvatore Mundy's been beat. they would take a lot of encouragement out of winning this race and finding themselves pure second favourite probably in the Arkle market, I suppose, after this one too. But like you said, Liam, it does give them the option then to decide if they want to nip up to 3 miles for Cheltenham or if they go back to two. He really is a horse that looks like a 2.5 miler, doesn't he? Really, if we're honest. But he's got high enough cruising speed to run over two, and he looks like he'd stay all day as well. So wherever he goes, I'm rooting for, and I really want Romeo Coolio to win at the the Drimore this weekend. Okay, 236. We have the Hattons Grace, Tia Hooper at even money, Ballyburn at 6-4, Mystical Power at 8-1. Any price you like for the rest. Well, Jamie, look, you've always been a big Ballyburn fan, so I assume your heart's going to be leaning that way a little bit anyway. But as well as your head, is that telling you a similar story?
No, he's just a better horse than Teapool.
Interesting.
That's just
Okay.
me, and especially at this trip. I know, look, Teapoo's won 2 Graces, but I know Mystical Power, another horse I like, but they're both better at 3. That's
Mm.
just me, but this is Ballyburn's trip. I think he's a 2.5 miler. I know he's coming back from chasing. Look, I just think I know there's people who say heart over hitting him or whatever. It doesn't make a difference. I just think he'll win. I think he's. I hope he keeps drifting and they back to Tupu, and I think he'll be. I think he'd be just too quick for Tupu. That's just me, Joe, and I think he'll win Sunday. Yeah, Ballyburn, all that.
Interesting. Okay, strong words for Ballyburn from Jamie. What about you, Liam?
Uh, I'm not so sure with regards to Ballyburn. I know he won on seasonal reappearance last year, but 2 years ago he certainly needed the run, didn't he? He was beaten by Firefox, and look, that showing of Ballyburn was absolutely nowhere near his actual ability over hurdles. Um, I'm not sure whether it was perhaps they did more with him leading into the beginning of last season, or the opposition he faced was obviously just dross
Mm.
comparative to somebody else like Firefox going up against him. Um, I'd like to see Mystical Power in here. I think the comments that Jamie alluded to on one of our anti-post shows was quite interesting. The fact that we didn't see the best of him in whatever race he ran in last year, and he's potential one for the stayers. He just went out like a light, so I'd be intrigued to see him turn up should he do so. Maxim is a horse who's just continually been on the improve towards the bottom end of the market. However, he would want further. I think 3 miles. Again, it's dull and boring. I think it is between the top two. I'd take a chance on Mystical Power if he were to turn up. I certainly would. Um, but I don't like either of them. I don't like Tubu.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
And when you just don't take to those horses, and
Hmm.
it's not the horse's fault. It's just your own personal preference and opinion. I've always wanted to take the pair of them on. Hence why I'm scouring around and scratching around for something in this market to take them on with. But it's difficult. Sometimes you can't find anything to get them beat, so you just let the race play out. Um, yeah, Mystical Power if he turns up.
Yeah, that's fair enough, mate. Well, I'm going to make it more confusing. I'll go with Tiahupu. He's only going to run a couple of times this year, so I feel like he'd be pretty fit and ready to go. And like Liam said about sometimes you're not just taken by horses. Ballyburn just isn't for me, but he might make us look silly. But I will go with Tiahupu.
You won't make me look silly.
Well, no, no, yeah, you liked him for a long time as well, haven't you? To be fair,
Yeah.
Hmm. One word answer, just yeah. Okay, cool, sweet. Let's go. Right, that wraps it up anyway for the main part of the preview. We've done this earlier in the day than usual, so it feels like we haven't necessarily had the spring in our step, but we have got some good racing, and we will start to enjoy that over the weekend. Best bets or anything outside of the meetings, lads? Anything caught your eye? I've actually got a lucky 15 I'm going to put up on my own this week. But anything from you, gents, first?
Oh, well, if you've got a lucky 15, Joe, I'll keep it short and sweet then in that case, mate. Loving that. I was taken by the fact that personal ambition is going back over hurdles for Ben Pauling, a horse I really took to, really liked. And I think he's better than his marker 130. He runs in the 140, the 2.5 mile handicap hurdle at Newbury on Saturday. Friendship obviously won particularly well at Cheltenham. He could again go in. He could still have enough in hand for Hobbs and Johnson White, who are flying along so far this season. But I really like Personal Ambition in there, and I think he's definitely worth an each way bet at 7-1. So that's the only one from me, and one that I'd be very strong on, and no doubt will go up over at Oddschecker over the course of the next 24, 48 hours, mate.
Perfect. Nice one, Liam. And Jamie, what about you?
I'm going to the last race in Newbury, the 335, a horse and won the race last year. I tipped him the last day at Ascot. I know he's up £8, but he's dropped £1 for Ascot the last day. He won the race. Look, just go back and watch the way he won the race last year. General Medrano. He was way ahead of 131. He's back at Newbury, where he was so impressive in the race last year. So he's 7-2 to find out. I know it's boring, his favourite, but I think he's a right chance, and he'd be my bet of the whole weekend, General Medrano, yeah, in the last
No,
Newbury on Saturday.
nothing wrong with 7-2, James. Nothing wrong with that at all, buddy. Okay, so personal ambition for Liam, it's General Medrano for Jamie, and like I said, I'm going to chuck up a lucky 15 because I've actually got four I really like this week. So I'm going to have Vianney in the Jerry Fielding. Going to have Jasmine de Grugy at Newbury. Going to have Friendship.
You're definitely confusion there, Joe.
Vianney, Jasmine de Grugy, Friendship, and Resplendent Grey in the Coral Gold Cup. Each way, muggy bets there, but I'm really sweet on the four, so I'm going to put my neck on the line for them. Okay, well, we did it, lads. It's been a busy week for us. We've done review shows, anti-post shows, our weekend preview. Got loads more to come as well, some more guests and things like that coming soon. But again, thanks to everyone that's tuned in. We really do appreciate if you've come this far through the episode as well. Hopefully we've managed to find you some winners along the way. Please do like and subscribe. We've got some more content coming real soon. And thanks for joining us again. Bye for now.